you have questions, raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. And please, once again, once we start, we ask that you do not leave the room. Thank you.
Hey, Terrance, as far as the running back situation, having experience between you and Kenny Hilliard, but then the excitement and some new young blood coming in with Leonard and Darrell as well, how do you evaluate the running back situation as it is?
You know, I think we're in a great situation, having two seniors and also having those two young guys to come in because we're obviously going to need them this year because it's always been running back by committee at LSU. I'm very excited to see Darrell Williams along with Leonard Fournette carry the ball. Those guys both have a lot of things that I feel are going to be able to contribute to the success of our offense this year.
Terrance, Steve Schneider, WAP Baton Rouge. We've been here for a few days. There have been questions for all the other teams about guys getting in trouble and being suspended and having that kind of issue. What is your role as maybe a guy who's, you know, done the right things and been a leader to emphasize to the guys on LSU's team that they need to take care of their business and stay away from those situations?
You know, there's a lot of guys, good guys around the country that play college football. Unfortunately, you know, some of them tend to get in trouble sometime, and that's okay because we all make mistakes. But as far as the seniors and the leaders under the team, you know, they have to take those guys under their wing and show them that, you know, that's not the way to go. And as far as those young guys looking at those situations of people that's been in trouble, you have to learn from their mistakes because that's the only way you get better in life is learning from guys who've messed up and, you know, making sure you don't go down that same path.
Hey, Hunter Mandel with Bleacher Report. When was the first time you watched Leonard Fournette play, and what was your first impression of Leonard Fournette?
I walked in Coach Frank's office sometime last year, and he was watching film on him, and it was one run. I only seen one run, and I went, wow. And he said, you like him? I said, yes, sir. I think he's going to be good. And I didn't know who he was at first, and I said, who is he? He said, that's Leonard Fournette. And, man, just to see that guy run the ball with such power and speed, man, it's amazing, man. You know, they compare him to Adrian Peterson, and to be honest, I think that's the best comparison that you can give him. I think he's going to do great things at LSU.
Terrance, talk about the quarterback battle. I know Anthony's coming in. He got to start last year. Brandon came on strong in the spring game there. What are your thoughts going into fall there with those two guys competing?
I think they both had a great spring. They're both doing very well in the summer 7-on-7 sessions and whatnot. I see them both taking tips and learning from each other, so it's a good interaction between them. But, man, I'm telling you what, they're going to make it pretty tough on Coach Miles and Coach Cam to decide who's going to be the starter game one.
Terrance, I know he's a teammate of yours, but are you motivated by all the Fournette talk? Do you know, hey, because I know you've been very patient waiting for your opportunity, and now it looks like you have a pretty big one.
I can't really say, you know, that motivates me. I know one thing, it's definitely exciting to share the same backfield with a guy that comes in so highly declarated. And, you know, I'm excited to see him get an opportunity to play, man. Every time I watch him catch a ball or run a ball in 7-on-7 and drills that we do, I get excited to see it, man. He's fascinating.
Right here.
Mike McCoy, ABC 40, Bryan College Station. With the Thanksgiving game now between you and Texas A&M, are you looking forward to it, and is it the start of a rivalry that's going to be ensuing for the next couple of years?
I think it's going to be a very exciting game. You know, they always play us tough, and they have a lot of great talent on that team, and I think it's going to be a great Thanksgiving Day game for us.
Hey, Terrance, in terms of just big picture and team goals, how far do you think this team can go this year? Obviously, there's a lot of youth coming in, and that seems to be the case every year at LSU, but ultimately, what are y'all's team goals?
We have a great coaching staff and a team that's loaded with talent. And, you know, they got the college football playoffs this year, and we want an opportunity to make history. We want to be one of those 4 teams to compete in it, and at the end, hopefully be the team to win the first championship in it. So it's exciting, and we're really looking forward to it.
What are your thoughts on Malachi Dupree? What kind of an impact do you think he's going to have this fall, and what kind of a player do you think he is?
You know, I came in with Odell, and when I watched him run routes and catch balls that summer, my freshman year, I was excited to see him. And you know, I had never seen a receiver, you know, that gifted. And with Malachi, watching him in 7-on-7, you know, I get that same feeling. He's a very smooth route runner. He catches the ball extremely well, and he's very fast. So I'm excited to see him play, and I think he's going to do great things at LSU.
Luke Simons, KAGS HD, Bryan College Station. Can you talk about what you've seen from a lot of quarterbacks all over the league, and that you guys are one of the ones that are going to have a new quarterback, and the ability for those guys to be able to step in so quick and not have such a big drop-off?
You know, we lost a great quarterback in Zach Mettenberger, and it's going to be hard for those guys to step in and fill his shoes. But we have a great quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator and Coach Cam, and I think he's going to do a tremendous job in getting both of those guys prepared. And as a team and as an offense, we're going to be comfortable with whichever guy they decide to step in and be the starter on day one.
Kelsey Wingert, KLB. Now, you, Welter, and Collins are all seniors, but you have a lot of new talent, freshmen coming in. What advice are you giving them to get ready to play in Death Valley in a big, you know, stadium like that?
You know, we have a sign in the team room, and it says, "Young guys, be prepared to play big roles." And I think as a senior on the team, we should, not just me, but as well as all the seniors, we have to make sure that those young guys really understand that concept and realize that we're leaning on them to contribute this year because we're going to need them. So just coming in every day and making sure those guys are preparing the right way and living right, and making sure that that they understand that this is truly a grind and it's a process, and that we're preparing on them to do big things this year.
Andrew Alexander, Pelican Broadcasting. From your perspective as a running back, just how important was it for Lyle Collins to come back for a senior year to block for you and Kenny and Fournette?
Man, that was big. We lost a great player in Trey Turner, and for Lyle to come back, it's going to be real exciting, man. We got a tremendous offensive line, a great offensive line coach, and I think they're going to do a great job of paving the way for all four of us this year, and I think we're going to have a lot of success running the ball.
Hey, Terrance, Chris Price, WBRZ Sports 2 in Baton Rouge. As tough as the division is in the SEC West, do you think having that college football playoff actually gives you guys a better chance of making it? I mean, now you don't necessarily have to win the conference championship to play for a national title.
You know, I've never really looked at it that way to say it was going to give us a better chance. You know, the way I look at it is you take it game by game and week to week, and hopefully put up a W on the schedule. After all of them, you truly give yourself a great opportunity of playing in.
Terrance, we saw what Cam Cameron can mean for the LSU offense, but obviously you're not going to stand pat. There's going to be new wrinkles and a better understanding. What can we see maybe in this second year that maybe we couldn't see the first year?
I think the biggest thing that will change with our offense is us having the ability to have a little mobility at quarterback this year. I think there'll be a little different packages where sometimes you may see the quarterback keep the ball and go around the end or go up the middle. So I think that'll be the biggest thing as far as the way we throw the ball and the formations and different variations that we run. For the most part, I think they'll be the same.
Up front, right here.
Give me your funniest moment with Les Miles.
Before we go out to the game, when everybody gets together and we break it down and say our prayer, we always say team on one, and one time he called it up and he said it backwards, and instead of saying team on one, well, he said team on one, and he forgot to say one. He just said team, and the whole team busted out laughing. It was pretty funny.
Tatum Everett, KTBS in Shreveport. Recently, the NFL Director of Scouting Services said Coach Cameron is the most valuable coach in the SEC West. Would you have to agree with the statement coming from a perspective of you playing underneath him?
You know, Coach Cam is a great coach. But to be honest, I think our coaching staff as a whole is the most valuable coaching staff in the SEC. You can't take nothing away from none of those guys, and we have a great leader in Coach Miles, and he does a great job of surrounding himself with great coaches, and they teach football on a doctorate level at LSU.
What's the excitement level like among players with the new stadium renovation, second largest stadium in the SEC now?
It's very exciting. You know, I look on Instagram sometime, and you have guys taking pictures and sneaking pictures in there, sneaking in the stadium, taking pictures. So I think everybody's ready to see what it's going to be like since the renovation, as well as the addition of the new fans, to see, you know, how loud is this place going to be, because before then it was pretty loud.
Hey, Terrance, I know the poll comes out tomorrow. If you guys are picked behind Alabama and Auburn in the West, as a player, do you pay any attention to that? And if so, do you think any of the players use that as motivation at all, or take that personally? Is that something that you guys will pay any attention to?
You know, if those guys come out ahead of us, you know, they're well deserving of it. They're well coached. They both have a team with tremendous athletes on them. As far as how we're going to take it, of course it's going to serve as a sense of motivation. But like I said, they're well deserving of it. And, you know, you're never exactly where you want to be, but you're right where you're supposed to be. So I feel like wherever we come out at, that's where we're supposed to be.
For teams like you and Texas A&M, a lot of teams are just renovating, redeveloping all these fields. Do you think that has a huge impact in recruiting, and does that bring in more athletes to come there than it does to other schools? Is it a huge advantage?
Of course it does. As a player, it really just depends on what you're looking for. I know the first time I walked into Tiger Stadium, it was no doubt in my mind that that's where I wanted to play college football at. And the atmosphere is second to none. So I think when a recruit or any player walks into their stadium, without a doubt, that's where they want to be at.
Excluding yourself, who's the best running back to ever play at LSU?
You know, that's a tough question. They've had a lot of great ones. I think I can't say who's the greatest, but I can tell you two that I think that played very well. One of them haven't even played yet. Jeremy Hill was probably the best that I've seen play. But I'm telling you, this guy Leonard Fournette, when his time is over and done with, I think he's going to be one of the greatest to put on the LSU uniform.
Terrance, how do you see that quarterback battle playing out for you guys? Do you think it'll last through fall camp? Do you think it could even go into the season?
Like I said before, you know, both of those guys are doing a great job throughout the summer, but you can't just single one out and say he's doing better than the other, because they're going to make it real tough for Coach Cam to decide who's going to be the starter. But we're comfortable as an offense with whoever he decides to start.
Terrance, you got your most significant playing time last year. How do you see your role changing, if at all, with Leonard coming in and the distribution of the football?
You know, I'm not really sure what my role is going to be. You know, it changes from year to year for every guy. But I've always been the type of guy that, you know, whatever coach asks me to do, I'm willing to do it. And if it's getting 25 carries a game, I'm for it. If it's getting 5 carries a game, I'm going to be the same player, and I'm going to be cheering my teammates on and excited to see them do great things, because it's in the best interest of the team.
Terrance, as close as the running back group is, especially with Jeremy in the last few years, how much of a focal point he was for this offense, and as close as you guys were, for him to decide to move on to the NFL, what was the process like when he told you, I am moving on, maybe this is your team now?
You know, we learned a lot from Jeremy and Alfred Blue and all those guys that decided to leave, as well as J.C. Copeland. And you know, when they decided that they were gonna leave, we were sad, but at the same time, you know, we were kind of happy, because me and Kenny, because you know, it's our turn to be the leaders and be the seniors on the team. the decision that Jeremy made, you know, it was in the best interest for him and his family, and we're excited for him. And to be honest, I'm very excited to see what he do with Cincinnati.
Being just rated the #1 college football stadium in the nation and the renovations, and it being your senior year, kind of take me through your emotions and thoughts that first game on September 6th when you're running out of the tunnel.
Every game in Tiger Stadium is crazy, but that one I think might be the craziest, man. Those fans, they're second to none. The feeling you get every time you run out of that tunnel, you know, it's a feeling that I can't describe. So when we get our opportunity to run out for the first time with those new renovations, I'm going to be excited, and I'm going to just try to sit back and take it all in.
Can you give me your best Les Miles impression before a game or at the end of practice?
You might get me in trouble for this one. But, you know, after every practice, after anything we have where he calls the whole team together, he always says, see ya at the end. And he was like, all right, man, see ya.
Who's the one guy on the team that wins the big cat drill every single time?
It used to be J.C. Copeland, but he's gone now, so I'm going to have to go with Lyle Collins. You know, that's a tough guy to stop once he get in the three-point stance and get all that momentum and power rolling forward. That's why I love running behind him on Saturdays.
Okay, thank you very much.